Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in this video I'm going to go over 10 movies that as a fan I can't believe got a 4K Blu-ray release. So for today's video I thought I would do something a little bit different and talk about movies that I personally really enjoy that I can't believe actually made it to 4K disc. And you know, if you are a fan of the format, you know it's a very niche format. Not every movie that has ever been put out on DVD, let alone Blu-ray, is going to make it its way to 4K. So there's a lot of films out there that we all have wants, that we all wish would make it to the best possible format available. So I thought I would focus on 10 movies that I really enjoyed, that I'm very happy and still can't believe that they made it to 4K. Now, normally, of course, when I talk about 4K, I go over picture and audio. That's really not going to be a factor here. I'm not going to really touch on that too much. I may mention something here or there, but really, it's about the love of movies and why I think 4K is really the best presentation you could put a movie on for the home format. This list is not in any particular order, so my number one is not my number one. And I also encourage you to put in the comments section below what your personal list would be of 10 movies that you really enjoy that you still can't believe made it to 4K. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive into my first pick. My first pick is a film that I watched a lot as a kid. In fact, it was one of those that was on a loop for a while. And I'm talking about Cloak and Dagger. One of the great things about boutique labels such as Vinegar Syndrome is they take obscure movies like this and put it out on 4K. That's their bread and butter. And I never thought this would get a DVD or Blu-ray or let alone a 4K release. I was extremely excited when this was announced. I couldn't be happier with the results here. It's a, 80s spy thriller. It has to do with kids, just actually being in danger. Like, it felt like there were some stakes in this film. Today, if the same movie was made, it would be really just, nerfed in that sense. But it also had to do with video games, which I'm a lifelong gamer. So I just enjoyed this movie, and revisiting it after so many years, I couldn't be happier with the results. The 4K is excellent. And, Vinegar Syndrome, they're doing the Lord's work a lot of times. So yes, Cloak and Dagger, one of my favorite go-tos from the 80s, is now on 4K. This next one I never really suspected would make its way to 4K because it was such a chore to even get it on Blu-ray. And I'm talking about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Really, this is one of my favorite all-time Christmas movies, just hands down. And if you are a longtime fan or physical media collector, you know this was not an easy get on Blu-ray. The DVD had that whole pan and scan thing going for it. It just was not a good, disc. But eventually it came to Blu, and wow, it actually came to 4K. And it's just, I'm very happy with that. We even started getting the original film. The first National Lampoon's Vacation made its way recently to 4K. I expect European to arrive at some point. But yeah, this is one that it's a personal favorite of mine for Christmas time. I'm very happy we got a 4K release that actually has a really good looking transfer. So yes, Christmas Vacation is absolutely worthy of being on my list. When it comes to 4K, we don't often get a whole lot of Japanese animation. It's still very slim pickings. I like to think that's going to change in the coming years, but when they announced that Ghost in the Shell was coming to 4K, I could not be more excited. This is one of those that I felt was going to linger on Blu-ray forever. And I never thought we would get a 4K release, and I couldn't be happier with the results. This is an excellent movie. It's got some great sci-fi themes to it, but oh my God, it's so great. And the 4K, I highly recommend you check it out. I even did a review on my channel if you want to hear my thoughts on it. But yes, Ghost in the Shell, it's just one of those films that watch the original Japanese animated feature. There is a live action out there, but nothing could top the original. And I couldn't be happier that we have it on 4K. This next one is more or less about the director, but for the film itself, Pulp Fiction. When it comes to 4K, of course, you're going to always have opinions, when it comes to the format or how directors like HDR or anything like that. And there were always rumors that Tarantino didn't like 4K. So whatever the truth is there, it took a while to get the first Tarantino movie on the formats. So Pulp Fiction, my personal favorite. I was very happy when that was announced. And it was also the first Tarantino movie that I watched personally. And then I went back and watched Reservoir Dogs, and I've been a fan ever since. So whatever the actual reasoning is between Tarantino and 4K, I guess that can be discussed in the comments. But really, I'm just happy that we're starting to get Tarantino movies more and more on 4K. There's rumors of Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 and Jackie Brown coming from Lionsgate in the near future. So yeah, I'm really happy. And of course, more Tarantino on 4K is always a good thing. If you've been a long-time physical media collector or a 4K fan, you know the absolute frustration when a movie comes out only on Blu-ray. The odds of getting a 4K are not the best. I mean, Universal seems to be the king of doing this these days. But for this pick, Midsommar, one of my favorite movies of that year, when it got released on Blu-ray, I was not very happy. But this being an A24 film, of course, they put out web store exclusives, and they put out a 4K edition of not only Midsommar, but the director's cut of the film. Whatever you may think of the movie, I love the director's cut. I mean, for me, it's a great addition to just a thriller. I mean, it's very unique. And the extra footage is, I feel, really, it adds a lot to the story. But I'm just very happy that it came to 4K. It was touch and go there for a while. And I know there were international releases of the theatrical cut in 4K. I actually bought one. But, I mean, really, I love the film. I was very happy that it arrived on 4K. And it is one of those movies that you want to watch it on the best possible format. Just like Tarantino, this next one is aimed specifically at a director. And I'm talking about Stanley Kubrick. Once again, longtime physical media collectors know that it was a bit of a hassle to get Kubrick films on DVD, Blu-ray way back when. And I never thought we were going to get such a barrage of Kubrick films on 4K. And wow, I mean, the results are impressive across the board. I mean, 2001 is still one of my favorite examples to show what classic cinema on 4K can do. And I mean, of course, you have just The Shining and, I mean, A Clockwork Orange. I mean, there's so many of his films on 4K now. There's more of his movies on the format than there aren't. I mean, there's still a few holdovers, but really, Kubrick movies on 4K have turned out to be excellent. I never thought we would get as many as we have, and I'm very happy, and I want to see more going forward. One of the major reasons that we as 4K collectors like to pick up new titles is the improvements to not only the picture, which is very important, but the audio, especially when it comes to classic films. So for the Back to the Future trilogy, yeah, I expected that to arrive on 4K, but not as good as we got it, because it has not only a great looking picture, but a new Dolby Atmos track I think really adds some great depth to the audio experience. I love it when studios pay extra attention to movies like this. When they do simple cut and paste, it's not nearly as exciting. I know Paramount's kind of guilty as labels go, but there are certain studios, Universal being among them, Sony, that really go for the more upgraded features, and we all appreciate that. So while, once again, I knew the Back to the Future trilogy would eventually make its way to 4K, you could also throw in Indiana Jones, Star Wars, the upgraded audio tracks, and picture really make this something that I think really sells the 4K format. My next pick is another trilogy, specifically The Lord of the Rings from director Peter Jackson. And why it's on this list is not because I didn't expect it to arrive on 4K. I think we all knew that was going to happen. But why it's on this list is because they went the extra mile. Peter Jackson put not only the theatrical cut, but in my opinion, the more superior extended versions, both are on 4K. You get equal picture and audio on both options, and I really appreciate that. They didn't go the double dipping route where they only put out the theatrical at one point and then down the line they did the extended. It's all available in one set, and I really never expected that. And I was very pleasantly surprised when it was announced and confirmed to be so. So the Lord of the Rings trilogy on 4K, I am still excited that we got, in, once again, my opinion, the superior extended cuts. So either version, fans will have it on the format. My next pick, James Mangold's Logan, I fully expected to arrive on 4K. That was no big surprise there. But what was the surprise was the inclusion of the black and white noir version also on 4K in the same sets. I really appreciated that extra bit of effort, because normally when there's a black and white version of a film, they put it on a 1080p Blu-ray disc, which it's fine, I guess, but really go the extra mile, put it on 4K, and that to me was a really great thing to add to us physical media collectors. It's also another thing where, you know, it might show up in streaming only or whatever the reason, but to have it actually on a physical 4K disc was really an extra bonus and something I very much appreciated, and I still can't believe we have that version of the film on 4K. Before I get to my last pick, when it comes to this list, this is of course about, I can't believe these movies are on 4K, but I wanted to mention a few that I still can't believe these movies are on 4K. Just a few dishonorable mentions to go over. Look, I'm not one to deny any film arriving on 4K because there's always going to be a fan, but for me personally, sure, why not? So the first one, of course, is going to be Howard the Duck. You know, I unfortunately had to do a review for this one because, you know, I run a YouTube channel, so I had to pick it up on 4K. Sure, the 4K was fine. It was nice, but really, it's Howard the Duck. I mean, I know there are fans out there. I'm not begrudging that, but why? And this next one is really, it's 50 Shades. Any of the 50 Shades of Grey movies, there's 3 of them. All 3 of them arrived on 4K. These are essentially glorified Lifetime movies, really. I mean, really big budget Hollywood Lifetime movies. But all 3 are on the format. So, and this last one, this is a little bit of a, you know, controversial topic, but Terminator 2, I can't believe, not that we have it on 4K, but we still have the bad 4K that's been released. Come on. I mean, really, this needs so much more improvement. Oh, I mean, come on, we need it. But it's really just one of those films that I'm hoping one day gets the proper respect and 4K release that it deserves. And for the last movie that, as a fan, I still can't believe got a 4K Blu-ray disc release, The Transformers, the movie, on 4K, it still blows my mind that this actually happened. This is another one of those titles that took forever to come out on Blu-ray. And I know many fans have been waiting for this one. And I think this one flew under the radar. It just kind of got a announcement out of the blue. I don't think this was even being hinted at. But wow, I mean, Shout Factory putting this one out was kind of like the best day for me personally. I saw this one maybe 4 or 5 times when I was growing up in the theater. That's how much I loved the movie. It's one of those childhood trauma films also. But I mean, really, I'm just so happy that on the best possible format today, we have this film. It's a great thing. And this, at the end of the day, is why we as movie fans really enjoy releases like this. So yeah, The Transformers, the movie on 4K is something you should definitely check out for yourself. So those are 10 movies that, as a fan, I can't believe got 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray releases. Now it's your turn in the comments section below. What 10 movies or any movies on 4K do you not believe actually happened? And let's talk about it in the comments. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.